Test, test. This is my first live stream, so excuse me if I don't know how all this functions. Just getting familiar with the outlook here of the layout. So I'll be starting in just a few moments. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. I will be starting in just a few moments. Sorry for the delay here. Just a few more minutes now, and I'll be on be live. Well, I'm live, but before I get completely familiar with the whole layout here, this is the first time I'm doing a live stream, so apologies. Just a few more minutes now, and I'll be. Here we go. I think I've got everything set up now. So let's see here what questions we got. Welcome everyone to this live stream. This is my first live stream. I apologize if the video quality isn't too good. It's just a built-in camera on my laptop. So let's check the chat here. See, first question here. I see, are you still in the UK? From Sam Williams. Yes, I am in the UK at the moment. So quite. I will be staying in the UK for the foreseeable time now. I think I will be going to on Saturday. I will be going to the march in Sunderland, Justice for Chelsea, which Tommy Robinson and Rebel Media is going to be there as well. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to do some. I'm going to bring my camera, of course, and get the event on film, so you guys can see it too. And it was a girl called Chelsea. She was gang raped by migrants, and the police. They had evidence and everything, but the police just shut the case down. I guess they were too afraid to be called racist. So yeah, I will be going to the march there. Lord Barrington Smythe asks, I've got this horrible feeling that Corbyn will win tomorrow. What do? Oh boy. You know what? I think Theresa May will win, but not as much as the polls have been saying. I think it's going to be quite close. I think maybe something like maybe about 5. I think Theresa May might win a bit, about 5%. That's my guess. But anything, you know, there was Trump and Brexit, which was surprises. You know, they gave Trump what was it, gave Hillary Clinton 99.8% chance of winning, but Trump still won. So the polling companies, they aren't much to go by at the moment, I think. So yeah, I have been speaking to quite a lot of people on the ground here in the UK, and a lot of people. I'm in the northeast at the moment, which is it's just used to be. It's usually they voted a lot for Brexit up here, but they have usually been quite the Labour kind of area. It's quite working class. Lots of industries around here, you know, manufacturing. But a lot of people I met here, especially young people, are overwhelmingly voting for Corbyn. I don't know. There might be a surprise. I'm not taking anything for granted that Theresa May will win. But if Corbyn wins, I think, well, he is a communist. Well, maybe not as authoritarian as the Soviet were, but he is still very far to the left. He's a far left, yeah, I would say communist. Marxist. There was one guy I spoke to. His father would actually leave the UK if Corbyn won. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Theresa May, she's been quite authoritarian as well. I mean, she wants to censor the internet, and yeah. To be honest, I don't know who would be better for the UK to win at the moment. If Corbyn wins, that will, you know, cause a backlash for next election, which might get a more like a real conservative, not Theresa May, but like a real conservative might win next election, hopefully, because people will be so upset with Corbyn and his far left politics. So I would actually think the best thing for the long term might actually be to have Corbyn win this election, so we could get some real conservative for next election. That's just my opinion. Paul Bodjanak asks, can you really go to jail in Sweden for your political views? Yes, or, well, for hate speech, they call it hate speech, which, I mean, they have the same in the UK as well. So if you say anything if you say anything that's considered racist or anything like that, you can go to jail. So there's this 70-year-old woman in Sweden right now. She wrote on Facebook, a Facebook post that migrants go on the toilet in the streets and burn stuff, which is not really, that's nothing especially edgy about that at all. And she's risking 2 years prison right now. And if you consider the political view of being against migration or being critical of migration, if you consider that a political view, then yes, then you could go to jail for your political views in Sweden. Do you think moving to more white and right-wing countries like Poland, Hungary, and Czech Republic? Well, yeah. I mean, I don't speak their language, and I have been thinking about it, but nothing that I'm going to do at the moment. But I think if things are continuing like they are now, then in 20 years, Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic, maybe Russia would be the only real European countries left in 20 years. Let's see what we have. Do Swedish women offer sex to prove their tolerance? Asks Paul Bodjanak. Not that I know of as such. I mean, there was a story out recently that employees at a asylum home having intimate relationships and giving lap dances to so-called child refugees. So imagine being a refugee. You're in, I don't know, Afghanistan. You expect you want to go to Sweden. You expect to get a hot Swedish girlfriend, and you come to Sweden. And what do you get? You get a middle-aged cat woman giving lap dances. Yeah, not what I expected to get. Maybe that's why they're out raping, because they're getting assaulted by middle-aged cat women. So they have to go and get maybe that's why they've been out raping young Swedish women and girls. Niklas Nydahl asks, what's your stance on the JQ? Well, for those of you who don't know, the JQ is a Jewish question. I think there's obviously a globalist elite in the world, and you have the Rothschilds, George Soros. Many of them do happen to be Jews. Do I think that all Jews are in this big conspiracy? No, absolutely not. But is it in the globalist elite? Is there a overwhelming? Are they more Jewish than the average population? Yes, but I also think there's one thing that many people who are talking about the JQ all the time. I think that the Vatican and the Pope is very much involved in the kind of globalist elite new world order thing. That is one thing I think many people is looking over, is that the Vatican, I think, is playing a very, very big role in these kind of things as well. But yeah, I mean, I have the Rothschilds and you know, and those people, have they used their contacts and their globalist networks to push Zionism and so on? Yes, they have. But are all Jews bad? No, absolutely not. There are good Jews. Oh, and I can add as well, there's one thing that is most politically incorrect that you can ask, and that is to talk about, you know, if you look at the globalist elite, if you say that there are unproportionally a lot of Jews there, that is like the most politically incorrect question you can ask. And I think free speech is free speech, and nothing, you know, no matter how politically incorrect, you should be able to ask any question. So I don't think you should censor any question at all. The Lightning asks, so when Sweden first started getting Muslim immigrants, did they go and place them in house or throughout Sweden, or just in specific areas altogether? No, they placed them. Well, Sweden have asylum homes all over the country. So it's up north, it's in the middle, it's south, it's everywhere. Even in rich areas, they placed asylum homes as well. I mean, but the thing that usually happens with migrants in Sweden is that they congregate into these no-go zones. There is already some kind of gang that is running a certain area. So you take there's an area called Sigtuna, for example, which is actually run by Syrian mafia at the moment. So when you have, say, Syrian refugees coming in, you know, they might go to that area and they might join. You know, they speak their language, it's their culture and everything, so they might join their gang, and then they basically rule it there, and that's how you get no-go zones. But yes, they do house asylum seekers all over the country, not just in specific areas. Max Eiderson asks in Swedish, what do you think of the Swedish Democrats and Jimmy Åkesson, their party leader? Well, the Swedish Democrats is obviously they are a nationalist, anti-immigration party, and they are the most right-wing of all of the parties that are in Sweden. In fact, they're actually, well, by the mainstream media, they consider far right. I wouldn't consider them far right, more just, well, with their current policy. I mean, a few years ago, they were more right-wing, like 5-10 years ago, and it seems like they have cucked out a bit recently. I don't know if that is to win votes, or if that is to if they genuinely have cucked out, or if they're just trying to tone it down to win more votes, because they are, as of the latest polls, they are the second largest party in Sweden now. And I think they might win the next election. They seem to be getting quite a lot of support. What I think, well, a few years ago, before I was really aware of all these questions, I actually didn't want to vote for the Swedish Democrats in the 2014 election. But would I vote for them now? No, not sure. They're not really right-wing enough, I think. I mean, they are the best option Sweden's got at the moment, I think, but they're not right-wing enough. I think you should need a more party that is even more right-wing. But they have been saying a good few things recently, like you know, they want to get Sweden out of the EU. They want to deport migrants who are a threat to national security, and so on. So yeah. The Great Galaxy Cat asks, were you always red-pilled, or did you get red-pilled not too long ago? Well, for you that don't know, red-pilled means basically being aware of how the world actually works, about migrants, about the globalist elite, and so on. If I was always red-pilled, no. It started about in 2014. I was working in my as I told Tara McCarthy when I did interview with her on her reality calls show. I was walking in my favorite shopping center in Sweden, and all of a sudden, around the time of this was around when Sweden started getting a lot of migrants, and all of a sudden I started seeing lots of Muslims everywhere in the shopping center, and they were just becoming more and more and more. You had this big beardy Muslim guy with his women and with like several women in hijabs, and tons of 10 children following behind, and you see them walking in the shopping center, and you will see them start. They wouldn't always behave so civilized. I remember once they weren't behaving at all civilized, some of them, and that was, I think, when I first started to get so red-pilled, as you say. It wasn't. I didn't really feel very. You didn't really feel very comfortable or safe anymore. So I wasn't too happy with that, and that was when I started. Yeah, and then after that, I started seeing a few more things, reading some alternative media, a lot of Paul Joseph Watson, actually. Prison Planet. He watched quite a few of his videos, and they were quite good as well. I did a lot of research into globalism and Freemasonry and the Vatican, and also, if you haven't checked it out, you should check up the history of Babylon, the mystery Babylon. That's very interesting, actually. If you haven't looked that up, you will find a lot of interesting stuff regarding where most of the religions today come from, and that's quite that was part of the process. When I was doing research, so that if you haven't looked that up, you should look that up. One guy here asks, what do you do outside of this, and do you have a job outside of this? Yes, I do. I don't earn any money of doing this. I'm just doing this as volunteer. Well, except a few dollars I get from advertisement on my YouTube videos, which is not much. Other than that, I do this all for free and voluntarily, because I think people need to speak out for the truth and about what's going on, and I think someone has to do it, and so I decided to do it. I'm looking at old comments here right now, trying to catch up, because I was waiting quite a long time in the beginning there to get my live stream set up. So I'm still quite long back in the in the comment section. Apologies if I missed anything. Someone writes, don't forget to press the like button, folks. Yeah, please do. Please press the like button and subscribe if you don't subscribe. That's much appreciated. It helps me to encourage me to do more of this. The more likes, the more subscribes, the more views I get, the more because I do this on a voluntary basis. That encourages me to do more of this. So I would really appreciate if you would do that. Robin Poe asks, if you ever come to America, you should come to Seattle. Okay, I've actually been in I've been in Seattle when I was younger, actually, once. Would you visit Luton to see all the Muslims? Well, I was considering going to Bradford. I was told by some people. I did an interview with some guys in a rural country village. You can find the video on my YouTube channel. They told me to go to Bradfordistan, or Bradistan, they called it. I've been considering going there. That's not too far away from where I am at the moment. As I said, I'm in the northeast of the UK. Is rebel media reliable? Yeah, I will say that. They're pretty good. There are some things I don't agree with them on. They have been punching to the right a bit. I don't agree with that. But they... I think they're doing overall a good job, I think. Opposition 24 says, "Hi Peter, good job reading for Germany. We support your vids on English news sites." Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Marinos H asks, "Will you join Rebel Media?" Well, if they want to hire me, yeah, I'm all for considering it. I haven't talked with them. Peter, if I sort of GoFundMe to go get to America, would you come here? Well, I'm not sure. I don't want to leave my homeland Europe too easily, but I have been considering moving to America, but not at the moment. I'm not leaving my homeland Europe at the moment. This is my home, and we're not going to let the globalists take it away. Speak up against the clergy plan. Yeah, look up the. I'm not going to go into that here at the moment, but do check up the clergy plan. That's an interesting subject. Well, basically, the clergy plan is one of the founders of the EU, and they talk about replacing the people of Europeans with migrants. But check it up in detail. It's too much for me to go into here at the moment. Peter, how do you deal with MSM criticism of your work? I don't care. I don't care. They can, as you say in Sweden, slänga sig i asfalten, which means, translated means go and throw yourself in asphalt. Or dra något gammalt över er, which means pull something old over yourself. Some Swedish sayings. Just going to check my Twitter quickly, see if I got any questions on here as well. Doesn't seem to be any questions on Twitter. Let's see what questions we got here. Do you know any other languages besides Swedish and English? Yes, I do. I know Norwegian. I was... Yes, I know 3 languages. English is actually only my 3rd language. Swedish is my 1st, Norwegian is my 2nd, and English is my 3rd. So apologies if I'm not if for my English. What is the Swedish monarchist's view on immigration? I don't really know, to be honest, because they don't really talk much about it. Sam Williams asks, what do you think of the YouTube channel Millennial Voice? I think it's a good YouTube channel. He actually subscribed to me the other day. I saw. I watched him a bit. No, yeah, it's got it's a good YouTube channel. If you don't watch it, you should subscribe to him as well. Do you like ABBA? No. The far left destroyed Christian values and the vacuum has been filled by Islam. Your views? I agree, 100%. Not really much to add to that. How bad is it really for women to walk alone? Would you recommend me not to holiday in Sweden alone or at all? Well, according to a recent study, 34% of 34% of Swedish women are afraid to walk outside alone at night in the evening, and you know that's understandable. And when it comes to problem areas and no-go zones, it goes all the way up to what was it, 54%, something I think it was. I mean, depends on where you're going. If you're in a no-go zone, no, definitely don't go out alone, or don't go to a no-go zone. If you want to go on a holiday to Sweden, you can. I mean, you can still go if you go to the right area. I mean, there's still. It's not. I mean, if you go to say. I mean, there has been incidents in most places now, but I mean, you should be relatively safe in certain areas, you know, like in central Stockholm, minus the terror attack that happened a few months ago. You should be relatively safe in central Stockholm if you avoid certain areas in central Stockholm, that is, though. But, you know, places like Djurgården, which is a nice park in Stockholm, you know, you'll be relatively safe there. Or other suburbs, a few suburbs around like Danderyd, which is north of Stockholm. That's one of the richest areas in Sweden. You'll be relatively safe there as well. I mean, there's been a few happenings there, but not too bad. You should do periscopes. I don't know. I don't really like Periscope. I opened up the Periscope app on the phone and it said, proudly made in the USA by immigrants. So that was interesting. Polish person asked if I want to visit Poland. Yes, I want to visit Poland. Oh, yes. Will I be able to get there? No, I don't think so. How much do legal immigrants get each month from the Swedish government? Ian Caldwell asks. Well, they're not considered legal because they get asylum. But how much do they get? Well, there's a migrant woman with 3 kids. She gets about roughly $2,500 a month tax free in benefits on top of housing and so on, and that's tax free. The average Swedish person who would earn that kind of money in a month would average something like 55% tax on top of that. And the pensions the elder people get is nothing near that. So yeah, they get a lot of money. You look like a burnt chicken nugget. No, I think that might just be the lighting. It's dark outside, and I got a LED lamp lighting me up. Will they send the 76% fake child refugees home? No, I don't think. Not unless Swedish Democrats get in. I don't think so. Okay, let's see some newer comments. I'm quite far back in the chat here because I was taking a bit of time to set up. Marcus writes, "Hey Peter, you know me? Okay. Who could you be?" What's actually so bad with the Swedish government? What do you views on immigration, ISIS, and other terrorist organizations? Well, I think everyone that has been seeing what I do, I think should probably know my views on that already. My views on immigration, I want in my ideal world, I would do what UKIP has in the UK. One of UKIP's policies is that I want zero immigration. I would go for that at least for 5-10 years in the future, because Europe can't really take more at the moment. Which political party do I support? Depending if you ask from Sweden or from the UK. No one really at the moment, except then it might be some smaller party. Liberty GB in the UK is quite a good party. Otherwise, most of the big parties are not that good. I like Marine Le Pen or National Front. They're quite good. I would like that kind of party is more what I think Europe needs at the moment. Is your last name a stage name? Yes, it is. My full name is obviously not PeterSweden. Yeah, by the way, if you're watching this live stream, please feel free to share this live stream so we can get more questions on. I'm going to be here for a while, asking as many questions as I can, or answering as many questions as I can. A Danish guy here, Mus Ekobas, asked, "Do you plan on opening a Patreon?" And I was thinking of it. I don't want to go out begging for money as such. That's not really my style, but I was thinking of doing it. Might come later, not sure. Who controls the media? I think this guy is referencing to the JQ that we talked about earlier. Obviously the media is, the people in the media are obviously leftists, and many of them are unproportionately Jewish, the owners at least of them. The journalists, I don't know, but it's but as I said, it's not all of these people that are very talking about the JQ all the time. They are, I mean, it's an important topic to talk about as such, but it's more than that, than just that. You know, it's the Vatican, and yeah. I won't read that comment. Do you know the number of no-go zones in Sweden? Yes, I do. It's 55. And there's also a considerable amount of problem areas in Sweden as well, which are not no-go zones, are not that bad, but they are still problem areas. If I remember correctly, it was, I think, something like 187 problem areas. It was the last figure I saw, something around there. And these areas, with mostly migrant-dominated areas with a lot of crime, rapes, shootings, etc. Mindy Leonhardt asks, "Are you a Christian?" Yes. If you looked, but not modern Christianity. Modern Christianity, churchianity, this prosperity gospel thing. Absolutely not. They are a bunch of snake oil cucks. No, I don't like them at all. Go back to, look at Martin Luther. That's the kind of thing we need. Shortly after that, shortly after that, Europe saw a great time. You had great architecture. You had modern science being invented, modern inventions. No, modern Christianity, I'm not a fan of at all. They got started being subverted back a few hundred years ago with the Schofield Bible, which was introduced and given out to free to, pastors who were going to seminaries. They were all handed out this Schofield commentary Bible for free, and that has influenced the doctrine of the modern churches. And the Schofield Bible is basically a commentary with the guy's own opinions on things, and it's not biblical at all. And a lot of doctrines there, I think, that are not good at all. I think. What's the biggest red pill in your opinion? Learning that history, as you're being told or taught, is not what you think it is. Look at the mainstream media today. Look at how they lie about things. You saw the CNN completely staging this shoot in London, where they had, you've probably seen it, shared thousands of times on Twitter, where CNN, they got these Muslims in behind the cordon, and they gathered them together to basically stage a protest, and they filmed them. I think, look at how the mainstream media lies today. Just imagine how many lies about history you've been told as well. I think that is the biggest red pill, to be honest. And when I was in Manchester the day after terror attack, I saw how the mainstream media was operating. They had loads of, obviously they wanted to look good, but it's not genuine. It's not honest. They had a makeup lady in a van sitting, behind the cameras, and they had big lights behind the cameras, and had big setups and everything, and they only filmed certain things that they want to film. Whereas when I was in Manchester, I was filming everything, as much, so trying to give a good picture. I was trying to get interviews from people with different opinions, even those that I disagree with, those that I agree with, and I also tried to film everything around as much as I could, not just one part of the protest. That's what real media does. That's why independent media is taking over, and I think it's important that we break the conditioning, as Alex Jones would say, from the mainstream media. Robin Poe asks, if they took away all free housing, food, and monetary support, do you think they would self-deport? Talking about the migrants. No, I don't think so. I think they would just... Some of them would find jobs, obviously, and the ones that wouldn't find jobs, I think they would probably turn to more crime, I think. I mean, I guess. I don't think they would self-deport. They are in Europe to conquer. They want to conquer. That's the end goal of this mass migration. Do you know about the Nephilim? Yes, I do. Check it up if you want. It's, as I said before, I'm a Christian. It's in the Bible. Do you have an identitarian movement in Sweden? Yes and no. Well, just recently, you probably heard of Richard Spencer and the alt-right. He set up a Swedish division. I think their site is nordic.altright.com. We're actually a prominent politician from the Swedish Democrats who's been in the Swedish parliament for years. He actually quit the Swedish Democrats to join Richard Spencer and set up the Nordic alt-right website, and they are doing things. And there's also a few other naturalist groups in Sweden, youth groups like Nordisk Ungdom, which have been doing a few protests. They are probably more naturalist than identitarian, but I mean, I would probably classify them same. Marinos H asks, will you be on InfoWars? I've already been on InfoWars with Owen Schroyer. If you haven't seen it yet, search for it on YouTube. PeterSweden InfoWars. I was on there talking about after the Stockholm terror attack. Were you ever on Red Ice? No, I've not been on Red Ice. Oh, thank you, Mindy Leonhardt. Nice comment. Do many Swedes share your views but keep silent out of fear of being singled out? I would say yes, quite a lot, I would say. You know, in Sweden there's something called the opinion corridor. Step outside it, you're quickly shut down, single out, you know, social consequences, even consequences from the state, possibly. So yeah, people are afraid to speak out. Just reading the comments. Timothy Luke asks, it seemed like you were hedging that you feel Trump is very authoritarian. I don't know where he saw that, but he is a bit authoritarian. Not that necessarily is a bad thing. You know, if communists want to, you know, a year ago I was a libertarian, but the more I saw that communists don't really respect your libertarian principles, the more authoritarian you go up on the political compass. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, as long as you don't attack innocent people, I would say. Let's see. Why do the left dominate Swedish politics? It's a good question, because they won the culture war, like they did in America as well. Culture Marxism, they won the culture war, which then influenced how people vote, and you know that's the good thing about the whole new right, alt-right movement. They're influencing the culture a lot, from what I've seen, and you might not see the effects right now, but in some years' time you will start seeing the effects of what the alt-right has been doing, and you will see a lot more right-wing people, a lot more people voting right-wing, I think. You're pushing the Overton window to the right. Okay, I see Marcus here. He knows. Okay, I think I know who Marcus is now. What is Sweden like as a whole? Are the citizens patriotic? No, they're not patriotic. Compared to Norwegians, they are patriotic. Very patriotic. Norwegians probably beat Americans on being patriotic. That's how patriotic Norwegians are. All school children, on a national holiday, all school children walk in parades. So yeah, I've actually been in Norway during this time when I've been having the parades, and it's they're very patriotic. Do you like the golden one? Well, I've watched some of his videos. I think he's a bit narcissistic. Very narcissistic, very big ego, that guy. But he's got some good videos. I mean, he's quite on the wrong. He's a pagan, so he's quite on the wrong step there. But he has some good content. Do you feel that Muslim extremists will take over Sweden and set up their own state? Well, they've already taken over several areas. There are 55 no-go areas now. So yeah, they've already taken over some places. Marcus asks, what are your views on North Korea, the nuclear program? I think we should just leave North Korea alone. They are communists. I don't like them at all. But I think it's just leave them alone, to be honest. Let's just let them be. I don't think they won't attack. If they're not if the West doesn't provoke North Korea, they won't attack. Just let them be alone. I think that's the best option. And yeah. Schofield Bible may be the biggest red pill. Yeah, that's quite a big red pill, if you know exactly how the Schofield Bible and everything about that works. Have you read Tino Sanjayi's Massutmaning? It's a new book he's published. No, I haven't read it. Might read it if I get the time. What do you think of Vargen, Thule, perspective? No. Nope. Robin Post, check out the YouTube channel called Rob Skiba. I've been watching him. I've been watching him a bit. He says some interesting things. Other things, not so much. He believes in the flat Earth, which I don't, obviously. But there's they have a few interesting arguments about the flat Earth, but no, I don't think the Earth is flat. But he's got some other interesting stuff in Nephilim, though, which is quite interesting. Do you know Paul Joseph Watson? I haven't met him, but we have been in contact on Twitter. Was Breivik right? No. What he did was not right. I mean, he had quite a lot of good politics as such, but his actions, his violence was definitely not right, and I do not condone that at all. So yeah, overall his politics, if you include what he did, his politics was not right at all. But I mean, he did say a few good things, but his actions and the violence what he did is absolutely not okay. What is your opinion on Nordiska motståndsrörelsen, the Nordic Resistance Movement? Well, they are a nationalist group. They're actually a national socialist. I'll talk a bit about them. So the Nordic Resistance Movement is probably the most right-wing group that we have in Sweden. They are national socialists, in other words. Well, the word Nazi is actually a slur used against Nazis. I will stick with the term national socialist. I'm not a Nazi. I'm not a national socialist, but I will use the word national socialist because that's the most real. That's the most honest name for them. They're the most right wing. They got quite a lot of people. They did a march in Stockholm against immigration in November. They gathered 600 people. There's videos of that on YouTube. You can search it up if you want. I mean, a lot of what they're doing, makes sense. A lot of what they're doing is, they do. I mean, they don't want any more immigration. They actually want all Swedish people to be issued with. They want all Swedish people to do military duty, and when they finish military duty, they get to keep their guns as well, which is, from a libertarian perspective, I would absolutely support Swedish people having guns. It'll be, it's a bit surprising actually that the National Socialist Nazi group wants to arm the whole Swedish population. I mean, a lot of their policies, they are looking to start a political party, and a lot of their policies are actually quite good, but would I vote for them? No. Nazism is not the way to go. Identitarianism, on the other hand, is I'm not punching right, but Nazism is not the way to go. Identitarianism is, on the other hand, I think is the future. I think. Boom asks, so how long do you think the Swedish welfare state will hold? Seems like cuts to the new Swedes will come eventually. No, I don't think it's going to be cuts to the new Swedes. It's going to be cuts to old Swedes. That's what's happening, actually. They actually recently cut a trauma center for women that have been raped. They actually cut funding for it to fund to give money to migrants who are feeling trauma. So they're cutting funding for Swedish women who get raped and giving it to migrants. And I'm not joking. That was out just a few days, just this day or yesterday, I think. I might put a link up on Twitter to it. Blaivas asks, from the outside looking in, do you think the United States has a future, or will it collapse in a few years? Yeah. I think there might be a risk for civil war in the USA, from what I'm seeing, between liberals, the left, and race relations aren't too good in America at the moment. So I think there might be riots, civil war, especially if they try something with Trump. Then I think everything would break loose, I think, in America. Oh, by the way, the guy earlier who asked if I had a Patreon, I don't know if you're still there, but I do have in the live chat, I have, at least I think I have super chat, which means that you could, if you wanted to donate anything, you could use that. I think, at least. I haven't looked into that too much. Let me just check here quickly. Yeah, I think you could be able to use the super chat. I'm not sure if it's activated or not. It actually might not, I'm not sure. Do you like snus? No, definitely not. Those of you don't know, that snus is a tobacco that people put in their lips instead of smoking it. No, I don't like tobacco. Degenerate. Robin Poe asks, do you think there's a relationship between strong Christian faith and patriotism? Yes. I don't think there is any doubt about that. Guy comments here, North Korea won't accept the petrodollar. The bankers will have their war. Hope not. But yeah, if you look at the countries that haven't had, don't have the petrodollars, yeah, they have been tended to be invaded. Apologies, I'm just trying to check some settings here. This is the first time I'm doing a live stream, so I'm not too familiar with it. Oh, nice. I had 55 hours of viewing time in total, apparently, on this live stream. I will get to more questions soon. Just checking a few settings here. Would you support a federal union of Nordic countries? Nope. I'm a nationalist, so I want independent nationalist countries, not a union. Let's see. Let's see which comments we have. Which team you support in Allsvenskan, the Swedish football league? Djurgården. Well, that comment I cannot read. The video might be taken down for hate speech if I read that comment out loud. There's a guy commenting here about capitalism and globalization, and that he thinks capitalism has been a bad thing for Europeans. And I agree. I don't like capitalism the way it is now. What we have now is crony capitalism, not good at all. I'm for genuine free market with some protectionist thrown in. To prevent, so you can prevent big corporations from getting monopolies and so on. But a true free market, not the kind of capitalism we have today, which is a few elite corporations are basically milking the system, milking the people, with mortgages and loans. And yeah, no, not good at all. How will a Corbyn victory affect Sweden? I don't think it will affect Sweden at all, really. Not really. doesn't really. No. Okay, is that how the super chat works? If you click Robin Pro writes, if you click the dollar button, you can donate. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I haven't seen that. Someone wants me to talk about Walt Furry. No. Walt Furry, why? Why do you want me to talk about Walt Furry? Why? Let's see. Well then, okay. I see ACBN has actually donated $2. Thank you very much for that. And they asked, what is your stance on Alt Furry? Okay then. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of Alt Furry. I think it's degenerate. I don't really know. I don't know if it's well, you obviously donated $2 to ask the question, but I don't know if it's a serious question or if it's just trolling. But yeah, no, I don't think Alt Furry. I mean, I don't know. I don't think any real nationalist should go into any alt furry thing. I don't think would be any good optics at all for for any nationalists or any right wingers to do. I think that won't help anyone's cause, really. Let's see. By the way, if you don't follow me on Gab, you might want to check me out. If you haven't made an account on Gab yet, Gab actually recently opened a site so you can register freely. You don't have to wait in the waiting list anymore. So Gab is a free speech platform. It's like a combination of Twitter and Reddit. It's quite good. I'm actually verified on there, so if you don't have a Gab, make sure to go on there and make an account. It's quite a good platform. They got a lot of improvements there recently, so I just want to give a shout out to Gab, the free speech platform. Twitter hasn't been too nice with some of their suspensions of people with usually right-wing opinions. The Gab is a free speech platform, so do make an account there if you don't already. I'm trying to get through all of your questions here as much as possible. I don't want to leave any question out. Let's see. Mm, mm, mm. Do you like Stefan Molyneux? Yes, he does quite a good job. I think he's a lot of his videos are too long to watch, but if you are driving in the car, instead of listening to degenerate radio, put on some Stefan Molyneux. A lot of good stuff. Why are Norwegians more patriotic? I don't know. It's Norwegians are actually Norway. Well, they teach the children from a very young age. You know, all school children are walk in the natural on a natural day. All the parades all around Norway, and all school children participate. So they get the patriotism from a very young age, and Norway has always been more. You know, I would say Sweden and Germany. The people are more. I would say Germans and Swedish people are more ethnically similar, I would say. And then you have Norwegian, but the Norwegian mentality, the Norwegian, it's more similar to the British and American mentality. They're much more. They don't like the government. Norwegians, they don't like the government at all. They hate the government. Swedish people, on the other hand, they like big government, like they do in Germany. Sweden is very similar to Germany in that kind of sense. But Norwegians, on the other hand, they hate the government. They want small government. They very patriotic. They're much similar to Americans and British people. Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if there's any study on this, but I think among Norwegians there's more kind of Celtic, some more British ethnicity in Norway than there is in Sweden. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but Norwegians are definitely more like Americans and British people in that they like freedom, small government, you know, libertarian kind of thing. What is your thought on the EU? Felix Strand asks. Definitely leave. I don't like the EU at all. The EU should be gotten rid of completely. That's my opinion. This guy thinks I'm a furry. No, I'm not a furry. Would you marry a non-Swede? Yes, I would. Would I marry a non-European? I don't think there would be too big of a culture clash, I think. I don't think Swedish girls are marriable, says Latvian man. Yes, I agree. There's many... yeah. There's not many Swedish girls that are marriage material, that you can say. Swedish women are very feminist compared to even Norway or Denmark. They're not at all that feminist. And then you go to the UK, where I am currently now, they're even less feminist. But then you go to like Hungary, Poland, and they're even less feminist there. So yeah, I don't know. This guy was given the UK is not exactly free speech friendly. Why would you choose to come to? Why am I in the UK instead of Hungary? Well, Hungary is a bit too. There's a big the culture clash, you could say, between Sweden and Hungary is bigger than between the UK and Sweden. I don't know the language or much of the traditions or culture or anything there. You know, imagine when I've been in the UK here. even when Sweden and the UK is so similar culturally and ethnically, there's been quite a big culture clash actually for me coming to the UK. Now imagine a big culture clash it would be for someone coming from the Middle East, from the third world, from them coming to Europe. Imagine a culture clash to be done. You know, I quite understand now how that would be, seeing how even coming from Sweden to the UK is a bit of a culture clash, and it would be bigger so if we went to Hungary. So yeah, I mean, just imagine the culture clash coming from the Middle East. There's Warren says PewDiePie referred to himself as a big Jew in a recent video. Is he subtly red-pilling kids or just being an edgelord? What? Did he say that? Well, I haven't seen that, but I think well, I've been looking at other things PewDiePie has been doing recently. I think he has been getting, I'm not going to say for certain, but I think PewDiePie is getting into the kind of alt-right counterculture 4chan movement. I know that PewDiePie is on 4chan, so it's definitely come across Paul. I think he's getting into the kind of alt-right movement, and I think in some of his videos been trying to start red pilling, if I'm not mistaken. One guy asked if I think National Socialism is a leftist. Economically, they are leftist. Socially, they are far right. You know, they're very traditional. You know, on social issues, they didn't like abortion, they didn't like homosexuals, they didn't like degeneracy, they didn't like all of that stuff. So socially, they're very traditional. Economically, they are left. They were very left. They were socialists. So I support. When it comes to social issues, I'm very very much to the right on social issues, very traditional, and so on. But when it comes to economic issues, I don't like being to the left. I like being on the right there as well. What do you think about the UK general election? Who would you vote for? Obviously, I cannot vote, but I will vote probably for Liberty GB or maybe Britain First. This guy, Mark Galvan Fiente, says, I'm aware by the Swedish people. What's going on with them? Are the politics is a Swedish or is it a Swedish thing? There's not much Swedish nationalism. No, it's as I've said before, Sweden and Germany are very similar. They like big government. They're not very nationalist, but it's a growing movement in Sweden, nationalism. What do you think of Sadiq Khan in London? 3 words. London has fallen. I think that says it all. Yeah, this guy says minds.com is also very good. Yes, I'm actually on Minds as well. I was talking about Gab earlier. Gab is a free speech platform. Gab is like a free speech Twitter kind of platform. Minds is a kind of Facebook free speech platform, and you can upload videos there also. I'm on Minds as well, PeterSweden there. So if you want to make an account or follow me there, please feel free. Yeah, Minds, you can upload videos like YouTube. You can write unlimited posts. You can upload images. Yeah, Minds is a very good platform. I only have like 200 followers there, so yeah, if you want to, go ahead and follow me there. Do you use Infogalactic instead of Wikipedia? No, I don't really use Wikipedia much either, but I've been using Wikipedia a bit. Monica L asks, is it true that no-go zones exist in Sweden? A lot of libertards are in denial. Yes, 55 no-go zones, and somewhere, as I said before, somewhere around 184 problem areas in addition to the 55 no-go zones. This guy asked if I am 100% Swedish. No, I'm not 100% Swedish. I'm actually, from what I can remember, I think I'm about 25% Norwegian as well. So I'm not actually 100% Swedish. But I am Swedish. I'm a Swedish citizen. I grew up in Sweden. Mostly grew up in Sweden. I've been in Norway a lot as well, but I grew up mostly in Sweden. Yeah, this guy is saying the comments I saw delayed on stream. The reason is that the delayed on stream is actually because I'm struggling to keep up with all the comments. I'm quite far back. I'm going to try, and I don't want to skip any comments. That's why. I'll try and be a bit quicker, see if we can catch up here. This guy asks, Null Silch asks why I'm in the UK. You can check out, it's a very long story. It's two. Basically, I'm here because of the Swedish government. If you want to see, it's going to take a long time, and I want to try and get some more comments. But if you want to see the full reason why I'm here in the UK at the moment, check out the interview I did with Tara McCarthy on the reality call show on YouTube. Just search for Tara McCarthy PeterSweden or reality calls PeterSweden on YouTube, and you'll find the interview. It's one of the first things I talk about there, and you get the full reason why I'm in the UK at the moment. What was the things that were the biggest culture clash coming from Sweden? Well, a lot of things. I'd probably say the kind of thing being polite. In the UK, they're very polite. Please, thank you, everything. In Sweden, it's not all like that. It's really just more straightforward. In the UK, all of the British kind of posh manners kind of thing. That's probably the hardest culture clash for a Swedish person. What are some things you still like about Sweden? The great nature landscape. They're still in areas that are still Swedish. There's quite a lot, quite a lot of community, social cohesion, you could say. A lot of community, people know each other. It's a small community, often a small cities, small villages. But obviously that is being destroyed with multiculturalism. Do you know Martin Sellner? I know about him. I haven't spoken to him. Were you worried about showing your face in videos initially? Yes. This guy says he's gay, but also voted for Trump. Are there any decent gay men, or are they too socialist? I don't know any gay people at all, actually. Well, not many. Well, I know one or two guys, actually. But I don't know too much about them, to be honest. Do you watch Murdoch? I do. If you don't know the YouTube channel Murdoch, you should check it out. It's one of the funniest on YouTube. It's a alt-right channel. They are quite edgy, to say it that way, but they're quite funny. Oh, by the way, guys, in the comment section, please, when I come to your comments there, if you want to say which are your favorite podcasts, please feel free to put them in the comment section. I'll read them up, and I'll also add which are my favorites as well. This guy says Britain first are idiotic, thick idiots. Yeah, that's why they're not. Yeah, they're not really a serious political party. I said Liberty GB first. I said maybe Britain first. Liberty GB is more of a serious political party, but I mean, if UKIP still had Nigel Farage, I would vote UKIP if I could. Sweden territory that is now Norway, yes. And Denmark had territory that is now Sweden, and Sweden territory that is now Finland. Actually, if you didn't know, in Finland, Swedish is actually officially a second language. It's being taught in schools. A lot of Finnish people know Swedish. Development Post asks, what do you think the prospects are like for ethnic Swedish nationalism versus more generic Swedish nationalism? No, versus more generic white nationalism in Sweden? Ethnic. I would say the kind of far right naturalism that is in Sweden is more white nationalism, not ethnic Swedish. Yeah, like you more. I don't know. You watch Murdoch. Well, sounds good. Sorry, Mac asks, what did your friends and family in Sweden think of you being to the right? Well, the thing is, my family has been quite right-wing, quite conservative. but they actually think I'm a Nazi. They are a bit, I can say, they're not boomers, but they have a bit of the boomer mindset. And now I'm not being, I'm not saying all boomers are bad. No, not many good boomers, but there's a kind of boomer mindset, a kind of conservative, neoconservative mindset among many boomers, kind of hippie thing, you know. I would say my parents are neoconservatives, I would say, for my family. So they think I'm a Nazi, which I'm obviously not, but yeah, which goes to show that you shouldn't punch right. Don't punch right. And neoconservatism has got to go. What do I think of German culture? I like it a lot. It's one of my favorites. After Sweden. Did you see Millennial Wolf's video on his visit to Sweden? I did. Hillside Dweller asked, you got hassled in a way by the Swedish government for your views and for speaking out. Well, I got put on the Swedish government watch list not too long ago. Where I had Paul Joseph Watson, Lawrence Southern Britain, Pettibone Baked, Alaska, Cernovich, Jack Posibik, a lot of other people. I'm in good company. I was put in that list as well. I made a video about it on my YouTube if you want to see it. Will you be voting for the Swedish Democrats in the 2018 election? Probably not. They're not right wing enough for me. Robin Poe says President Trump released a call for the left to renounce political Islam called Operation 1776. What? Is this true? I gotta see this. Can't see anything. I'll leave that for now. Well, thank you, JT Smith. What's the best? Let's see. What's the best Nordic Scandinavian country to move to? Well, currently that'll be Norway by far. That'll be the least feminist, least culturally enriched country at the moment. This guy asks, isn't Danish the most common language in Norway? No, Norway is Norwegian. Blue on Black asks, have you been following Jordan Peterson? Canada seems to be going through the same influence as Sweden. I have been checking out what he's been doing. I think it's quite good, actually. Stefan Suarez asks, are you familiar with Angry Foreigner, the Golden One? I know of the Golden One. He, as I said before, he's a bit narcissistic, but some good stuff. Darren Barron asks if I agree with the Golden One's video. Sweden is dead, long live Sweden. I haven't actually seen that video yet, so I can't comment on it. The Nazi tag is worn out, yes. it is. You are correct. In a few years, a few years ago, the left, the SJWs, they called us all racist all the time. We stopped caring. We didn't care. And look at where we are now. Racist doesn't mean anything. The word racist doesn't mean anything at all anymore. So now they started calling us Nazis instead. And if we do the same thing, if we don't care about the term Nazi, we will, in a few years' time, the word Nazi won't mean anything at all anymore. And then we will have shifted over to the right a lot. And that is a good thing. So why are the reasons I won't vote Sweden Democrats? Why aren't they right-wing enough? Well, they have been cocking out a bit recently. They actually cut ties with the Swedish Democrat youth wing because they were too far right in there. So they actually cut ties with them and created a new youth wing. I didn't like that at all. They have been cutting out. I'm not sure if that, as I said, I'm not sure if that is just because they want to gain more votes or if they're generally cutting out. But no, as long as they keep cutting out like that, no, I don't. I mean, they are so big now that they are the best option Sweden has. But I wouldn't vote for them just on principle because they have been cooking out too much. Yeah. Robin Poe says Trump just announced Operation 1776 today. I got to check it up. I didn't see it. I don't know if you have seen on my Twitter. The terrorist, the attacker in the Stockholm terror attack, the terrorist. He actually there was actually some news out on him today. He's been complaining that his prison guards are racist towards him, and he's complaining that he doesn't get any tobacco either. And he has also been doing Hitler salutes and Sieg Heiling towards the prison guards, which was quite funny. So if you haven't read about that, do check that out. That's quite funny, actually. Can you further explain the so-called opinion corridor? Yes, there's. You can Google it as well. It's political correctness. It's you cannot say. There's certain things you cannot say. It's an opinion corridor. If you go outside a narrative, say things you're not allowed to say, then you get shut down. Social consequences, potential consequences from the government, being put on the Swedish government watch list, as I was. It's basically anything, if speak out against feminism, against migration, all the usual suspects. I mean, that's the opinion corridor. There's certain things you're allowed to say and certain things it's an unofficial rule of what you're allowed to say and not say, basically. Go away asks, is there a way to stop the migrant issue in Sweden? If yes, what do you think is the best way, considering there are so many of them now? It's going so far now. The only way is to vote for a party that will stop migration and deport. Stop migration and deport. Zero immigration and deport. It's that simple. That's the only solution. And the hard question is, who would you deport? Because some people have Swedish passports. It's hard to deport them. It's a hard question. And definitely all asylum seekers haven't gotten a passport, Swedish citizenship yet. Definitely deport straight away. Anyone that is caught committing any kind of crime, deport straight away as well. That's probably what I would do. Here's a question. Do you think Alex Jones controlled opposition? I don't know. He's they're doing a lot of good work. There are certain topics they won't touch upon, but you probably know, some of you probably know what I'm referring to. But no, they're doing a good job. I was actually partially red pilled by Paul Joseph Watson of Infowars, and they are doing a lot of good work. And yes, Paul Joseph Watson is constantly attacking identitarians, and that is not a good thing. He's punishing right there, and he should not do that. He has been doing a lot of good work, but he definitely should stop punishing right. What is your opinion on Milo Yiannopoulos? Steven Suarez asks. Oh, that's a... Milo has been doing a lot of good job in red pilling and making this kind of counterculture Trump kind of conservative thing. He has been doing a lot of good work in, anti-SJW, anti-feminism. I think that was the first step the right needed to do in kind of the pushback against cultural Marxism. He did a very good job there, especially at first in anti-feminism, because the first thing that the right needed to counter was feminism. And I think public opinion has shifted quite a lot now because of a lot of what Milo has done, and Paul Joseph Watson and other people like that. Feminism is a dirty word now, and many people don't want to be called feminists anymore, and that is a good thing. We have shifted the culture on that, and that is a good thing. That is a first step, but now we need to push on to more important things, which I think the alt-right is doing quite a lot of good work on, especially keeping European, and migration, making that kind of talking about identity. I think that is the next step for the right to push. So that's Paul Joseph Watson shouldn't attack identitarians, because that is the next step, I think. And the ones leading that is the alt-right and Richard Spencer. They have taken over, you can kind of say. I think Richard Spencer, the alt-right, new right, has taken over from Milo Yiannopoulos. Milo Yiannopoulos did it back a few years ago, the anti-feminist kind of thing, and now it's taken over by Richard Spencer, the alt-right, identitarianism, pushing it further to the right. Spencer Lopez asks, in Germany, many people have no sense of nationhood or patriotism. I think being German means nothing and anyone can just become a German. People are more regional. Is it the same in Sweden? I don't know if people are more regional in Sweden, but I think they're more... I think many people think just anyone can become a Swedish person. That I think many people think. Nullsids asks if I've been to Möllan in Malmö. No, I haven't. I've been in Malmö, but not in Möllan. As far as I am aware. Hillside Dweller asked, what does being on the Swedish watch list mean for you? Meaning, how does it affect you? I don't care. I really don't care. And, well, I'm in the UK now, but I really don't care. I was kind of expecting Sweden to do something like that, and it's not only me that put Paul Joseph Watson, Lawrence Sudan, and many other on that list. Robin poses with the political correctness rules. She means the the so-called hate speech rules. Actually, in the UK, 25 people have been arrested in the UK now for so-called hate crime after the London terror attack. You know what's worse than the terrorist attack is the rampant Islamophobia we are seeing. Obviously, they need to crack down on the rampant Islamophobia. I don't know if you've seen it, but there was this video of when the terrorist attack happened. There were people in a restaurant, and the police came in shouting for them to get on the floor. And there was this English guy, typical English typical like English patriot, you know, and he was shouting, "Oi, it's those effing Muslims, cunts," and and there was this mega cuck of the year, and he he told him, "Oh, don't be Islamophobic. Don't say that about Muslims." Mega cuck. Meanwhile, outside the door, people were actually being slaughtered by the Muslims. But no, don't say anything bad about Muslims. No. No. 25 people were arrested for so-called hate crime in the UK. It's insane. And do you think the US will start receiving political refugees from Europe? Well, yes, I think Tara McCarthy, who has a reality call show, she's moving from the UK to the US, I've heard. Specifically because of that. Are there any political leaders in Sweden who are not politically correct? Well, the Swedish Democrats are not they are a bit politically correct. As I said, I've been cucking out a bit, but they are the least politically correct, I would say. Someone asked what I think of Richard Spencer. I think he's doing quite good work. He's not. There's things I disagree with, obviously, but I think a lot of what he's been doing is good. Now, some people, the mainstream media has been portraying Richard Spencer as this evil white supremacist Nazi, but he's not that. He is a white nationalist, basically. He wants a homeland for white people. You know, I want Europe for Europeans. You know, he's not this Nazi at all. He's not a white supremacist. He's a Identitarian. I think he's doing quite a lot of good work. There's one who asks, can you recommend any Swedish films? Non-cucked. No, because I don't watch films. Films are degenerate. Robin Poe says, aren't Swedish leaders all feminists? I think we found the problem. Yes, all Swedish political leaders call themselves feminists except one, Jimmy Åkesson from the Swedish Democrats. He's the only one that doesn't call himself a feminist. Okay, I've caught up with all the comments. I'm down at the bottom here now. So if you have any more comments, please feel free to post them, and I'm probably going to wrap this live stream up in not too long time. So yeah, if you have any more comments, please post them. Just gonna check if there's any comments on Twitter as well. Let's see. Bet24 asks, how did feminism become mainstream? Well, culture Marxism. They went through institutions. It was back in the... You should look it up, where the culture Marxism come from, the Frankfurt School. Well, back in the 60s, the Frankfurt School, they were Marxists. They weren't economic. They didn't want the economical communism. They wanted social communism. So they invented culture Marxism. So the Frankfurt School, they were in Germany, but they fled Germany when Hitler came into power, and they went into the West. They went to America. A lot of them went to America, and these guys, political correctness was literally invented by these guys. And from here stems all of the feminism, SJWism, all this racism talk. All of this comes from this. And one of the guys from the Frankfurt schools were one of the actually leaders of the student revolutions in the 60s, 70s. I don't remember his name, but and that was when it started to go wrong back in the 60s, 70s with the kind of hippie student revolution thing. And then they slowly changed the culture, pushing it to the left, and taking over the institutions, the schools, everything. And that's how all this became mainstream. Do you remember Sweden? It was a good place to live. Yes, it wasn't too long ago. 10 years ago. 5-10 years ago. So yeah, really started to go wrong in the last few years. Mass migration in Sweden really started. Also, was it around 2011, 2012 or something, 2013? This guy asked if I like Jon Raffman. I don't know who he is. Why did God separate people at the Tower of Babel? Well, they were building the Tower of Babel. Didn't want them to be... That is a good point, because what the globalists trying to do now, they're trying to get like a one world global government, and like back in Babel, all the people know same tongue, same language, yeah, same language, same everything, like and God separated them into different nations, different languages, different peoples. I think probably back there at the Tower of Babel. So yeah, that's why I support nationalism. That is the natural way that God intended it to be, at least for now. Oliver Starling asked, do you think Swedish Democrats will win in 2018? There is a good chance they will win in 2018. They are second in the polls now. Some polls have had them at first, so we'll see. Are Swedes still welcoming to American visitors, or are we considered ugly Americans? I think many Swedes think good of Americans. I don't listen to heavy metal, no. Have you watched The Greatest Story Never Told? I've heard about it. That's all I'm gonna say. Byrar Thunberg says I'm ignoring his questions. I haven't seen your questions. If you want to ask a question now, I'll answer it now. Bet24 is a good question. If you have children, how will you keep them from sticking to the values you're raising them with if cultural Marxism is everywhere? Well, the answer is simple. Homeschooling. You have to homeschool your kids. But that's the thing. Sweden made homeschooling illegal because in Sweden, the kids are supposed to belong to the state, not the individual parents. And of course, they cannot get indoctrinated with cultural Marxism if they are homeschooled. So Sweden has banned homeschooling. Yeah, thanks. Savash Base, follow me on Minds. Yeah, thanks for watching. Peterson asks which part of Sweden from Stockholm. No, Felix, I don't listen to heavy metal. Yes, I agree with your last comment there, Robin Poe. No, homeschooling is not banned in all Nordic countries. It's only banned in Sweden. There's only 2 countries that I know of in the West that homeschooling is banned. That's Sweden and Germany. Logical Libertarian wants me to talk about cultural Marxism. Well, I have talked about cultural Marxism quite a lot here. No, that's not alt-right. Heavy metal is not alt-right. Wave is alt-right music, not heavy metal. Heavy metal is degenerate. Wave, like Sirius, if you have listened to him. That's the alt-right music, not heavy metal. What's my favorite beer? I don't drink. I don't think nationalists should. I don't think people should drink at all, and especially not kind of traditional nationalists. It's degenerate. It's no. But I've seen Richard Spencer. He's on his whiskey all the time. You should cut down on it. If there's any other questions you have, Byra Sternberg, please ask. I think I'm going to wrap this up quite soon. If you have any more comments, please feel free to ask. It's getting a bit late here now, so I need to wrap this up shortly. I'm going to be more live streaming later on. I think I will be, as I said, I will be heading to the Justice for Chelsea march in Sunderland on Saturday, and maybe and Tommy Robinson is going to be there, and maybe I'm going to Manchester as well for the march there against terrorism. Well, they're having a march against, I don't know, it's march against, I don't know what it's called, march against, they're marching anyway against Islam, basically. and I might be going there as well, and I probably will be doing some live streaming from there if I can. John Smith asked if I know said your native women prefer to be with black people. I think when it comes to this kind of thing, I think people should be free to choose if they want to be with a black person or white person or whatever. But I don't think it should be encouraged to do either. It should just leave it up to people to choose themselves. But it's obviously some propaganda trying to get people, often to get white people to be with black people. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with a white person being with a black person as such if they want to. I think anyone has the right to do what they want on those issues, but I don't think it should be encouraged the way it's done now. They should just leave it alone. Pepe Ramirez says that he'll be live streaming. Is it the march for is it the Justice for Shelter, or is it the one in Manchester you'll be at? Oh, thanks, Robin. Yes, John Smith, det bländar upp SVT-propaganda. Yes, I've seen it. They are pushing it. Oh, well, if you just joined now, TL or Arential, please feel free to post a question. I will be wrapping this up soon. Oh, is Antifa going to be Manchester? I want to head over there. It's going to be interesting. I am going to try and be in Manchester as well. Oh, and Sunderland. Okay. Yeah, well, I'll see you. Okay, yeah. Well, I'll at least see you in Justice for Chelsea. I might be at the one in Manchester. I'm trying to get there. I'm not sure if I can. Go to Scotland? I'm not sure. Maybe I will go there. Antifa, while you're talking about Antifa in Sweden, there was actually a politician in Sweden. His daughter is a member of Antifa, and he was. I posted it on Twitter some weeks ago, and in Sweden, Antifa in Sweden is very violent. They did a good video. It's quite long to go into, but if you want to look into it, I did a good video on Antifa in Sweden. If you want to check it out on my YouTube channel. Well, thank you, Caring Support Group. Oh, thanks, John Smith. Yeah, well, I'm trying my best. And if you like this live stream, please leave a like on this video as well. And subscribe if you haven't already. Much appreciated. Yeah, let's see if we get any more questions. Felix asked what I think about Janne Josefsson. I think he's been doing. For you that don't know, he's a investigative journalist in Sweden, and he's actually been going against the left amazingly quite a bit. He's been actually doing quite a good job. He was actually doing some documentary on migrants and so on. He is doing quite good, but English speaking people wouldn't know about him. He only does Swedish stuff. Thanks for the nice comments, guys. Oliver Stahl says I should live stream more often. Yeah, I would like to. I don't know. I might do. Do you know what? I will actually do a live stream tomorrow evening when it comes to the. Because in the UK now there is the general election tomorrow. I will be doing a live stream following the election, and I will try and put up do some commentaries, maybe see if I can get some guests on. I will be doing some commentary and put up, doing some commentary over the evenings during the general election in the UK tomorrow, because that is tomorrow. So we'll probably do a live stream tomorrow evening as well. Yeah, Oliver Stahl, I would probably consider moving to America if if everything went badly in Europe. Yeah, and I think Tommy Robinson is doing good work overall, but he could be a little bit more red-pilled. I agree there. Ja, härligt Rebecka. Ja, du får ha det bra. Tack för att du tittade. Ja, det was a Swedish for you. There was a Swedish commenter there in the comments field. Torres will win. Yeah, I think Torres will win, but not by a lot. Maybe like 5%. A lot of people are supporting Corbyn that I've met, so I'm not. It's going to be interesting to see. Oh, I don't know if you saw as well. I'll just give you some news here. The attacker in France yesterday, the Notre Dame attacker, he actually worked as a journalist for the Swedish state radio. So he, that was interesting. So the guy in France yesterday, he was a journalist for the Swedish state-owned radio, so he actually got taxpayers' money. So that is the mainstream media for you. Don't trust the mainstream media. Independent journalism is the way to go. Yes, he was a journalist. He was a journalist for the Swedish state-owned Sveriges Radio. He even have his name. Let's see if his name was the attacker in France yesterday. His name was Farid Iken. He was a prize-winning journalist, and he worked for the Swedish state-owned radio broadcaster Sveriges Radio. He got a prize for an article he did on how illegal migrants were being discriminated against. And then he did an attack in France. Yeah. John Smith asks what kind of music I like. 70s, 80s, Christian music, classical music, maybe some 40s, 50s as well. Modern music is degenerate, influenced by leftism and cultural Marxism. So yeah. No ABBA. I don't like ABBA. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, Robin. Oh, you're a fan of music from the 1890s to the 70s, says Oliver Stolly. That's quite, yeah. I mean, before cultural Marxism, really. Yeah, Bach is good. Handel. But some of the new kind of alt-right fashion wave music is a bit interesting as well, actually. They're trying to make it like the 80s. No, I don't listen to electronica. Shadilay, nah, I don't like Shadilay. I don't know if I would be able to play it here. But while they're talking about music, see if I can find some one that I like. No, I probably won't do. I don't know if Golden wants to do a video. I'm not sure. Yeah, I know, Robin. I won't play any music, but Felix asks where you get your news from. Which networks do you trust? Well, are you talking about Swedish or English-speaking news? So when it comes to Swedish news, there's some good ones. Fria Tider is a very good one. Nyheter idag. Pixat is kind of good. But I also use mainstream media, Sydsvenskan, SVT, a bit. I don't take you take them with a grain of salt, but they do some some general fact-based things. They say if they report that there's been arson here or there, I can use that. But when it comes to more investigative things like people responsible for rapes and so on, Fria Tider is very good. It was actually Fria Tider who exposed that the attacker in France had worked at the Swedish state radio. So they do quite good stuff. When it comes to UK, Breitbart is quite good. When it comes to English stuff, Breitbart, Daily Express, Daily Mail, relatively good. We are. I'm not going to say too much, but I am working with someone to set up a new news website, and that is going to be up in in not too long future, probably maybe this month or next month, it's going to be me and some other guys who will be contributing, and we're trying to get quite a big network of people. So I will definitely be putting that, and I'm going to be a contributor. So we are starting a new news website for read news. So that is going to be really good, and I will definitely put it out there when that goes out. Well, it's Felix. It's not my site, but it's someone else's site. But I'm working with them, and I'm going to be contributing to them. I'm probably going to be running the kind of Swedish Nordic side of things for that site. So that's going to be very, very good, actually. I'm not going to say more at the moment, but we are working on it. Are religious Christian Swedes ostracized? Yeah, most of them are cucks. So the ones that are cucked, no, they don't really care. The ones that are not cucked, yeah. And yeah, I'm a Christian, yeah, but not, as I said before, not the kind of modern churchianity snake oil stuff. I don't like that. What was that video about Tommy Pepe Ramirez? That Tommy Robinson video, what's that about? Yeah, I agree. Breitbart fired a journalist that was not good at all. They still do some good stuff. I am in contact with some of those guys at Breitbart, but it was not good of them to do that, to fire that journalist at all. John Smith asked about what I think about Freemasonry. Yes, I think Freemason. I actually know a Freemason. Is I keep telling him about. I know quite a lot about Freemasonry. It's obvious that Freemasonry, Freemasonry is actually a form of Judaism, Kabbalistic Judaism, and a lot of the elites, globalist elites, are very much into Freemasonry. A lot of that is connected with the globalist elites and all of that. And I keep this Freemason that I know, he's a bit offended sometimes when I try and speak to him about some of that stuff. So Pepper, okay, so you think Tommy Robinson is working to create more division? I think Tommy Robinson overall is doing good work. He's not fully red-pilled at all on all things, but he is doing a lot of good work. Well, yeah, Freemasonry is a form of Judaism. It is a Kabbalistic form of Judaism. It's very much tied into that if you want to look it up. And Sam Hyde. I think we all know about that one. Yes, I've heard about the protocols. I don't know if they're fake or not. Hard to decide. Yeah, thanks for watching, Felix. Sam Hyde was actually kicked off Adult Swim, I think, or is he still on? Yes, I agree. The Talmud is a supremacist hate book, and yeah, it's actually if you actually look into it, Martin Luther, he actually wanted to ban the Talmud, and I think he wanted to burn all the Talmuds. Yeah, it's a lot of interesting stuff there. I don't want to go into too much details of that, but yeah. Well, actually, Robin, the Talmud is Babylonian. It's actually not. It doesn't have anything to do with the Old Testament at all. It's the teaching of the Pharisees that is actually talked about that Jesus actually talks about in the New Testament. The teachings is the teachings of the Pharisees that got written down and made into the Talmud. That is what the Talmud is. Yeah, you're right, Beth. Finding a conservative young woman in Sweden is not very easy to do. Well, I think I'll be wrapping this up now within 5 minutes. So if you have any last questions now, I will be wrapping this up by 1:15, I think. We've been on a long time here, and I need to get something else done before we go to bed, and then it's up for some general election tomorrow, and I'll be doing some live streaming again tomorrow around the evening time, I think. I might actually head out to some of the polls and see if I can interview some people as well. Maybe do some live streaming from there. I will see what happens, but I will definitely do some live streaming tomorrow evening. But if you've got any more questions, please comment now, and I'll wrap this up within 5 minutes. Oh, thanks for watching, Beira Thunberg. Oliver Stalin, what if Germany planned a migrant crisis to establish a nationalistic Fourth Reich in the long run? Yeah, I don't think so. Merkel is a communist. She actually was in the East Germany. She worked for the government in East Germany. So no, I don't think so. Oh, thanks for all the nice comments. Yeah, please leave a like to this live stream if you want, and and share it with your friends as well. Yeah, I was Thiel or Thiel. I was in Thirsk. Do you know where Thirsk is? I was in Thirsk, which is a rural village. I was doing interviews there with some people. I have it's on. I think it's my latest video. It's up on my YouTube channel if you want to see. Well, thanks for the nice comments here. There's one thing I want to say before I finish as well. You might, I don't know if you've sent me any tweets on Twitter, but just let you know, I try and read as many tweets as possible, but a lot when I have so many followers on Twitter that within just a few minutes of me tweeting, I get like 99 plus notifications. It's completely impossible for me to answer to all the tweets that I get on Twitter. So that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do the live stream, so I could answer your questions. And yeah, because it's impossible to see to both read and answer all the tweets I get. I try and read as many as possible, but it's so many. I remember when I started out on Twitter, I had like 100 followers. I was replying to people with lots of followers. And I was like, oh, why don't I answer back? I know why they don't now, because you get so many tweets and notifications. It's impossible to answer all of them. Oh, thanks, John. JT Smith, have seen the video Anti-Racist Hitler? Yeah, I've seen that one. It's really funny. You should definitely see it if you haven't seen it. Yeah, great stuff. Well, it's gone 5 minutes now. It's 1:15 now. So I need to wrap this up. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this live stream. And I will do a live stream tomorrow evening as well with regard to the election. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I need to wrap this up now. Yeah, well, I'll be posting. I'll be putting it up on my Twitter when I do my next live stream. So thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll wrap this up now.